How do we feel about the draft, though? Do we feel like this Lina, even if she's as broken as what she is at the moment, is that enough?
I was talking to you during the draft, and I said I didn't hate Team Mystique's draft. The Doom pick at the end, it's kind of understandable, right? You want to be able to be there with a lot of that damage over time, to be able to obviously prevent the TA from having as easy of a game. In the lane, might be a little bit rough, as Fluke was saying. And Nomad actually pointed out that Puck doesn't really want to have anyone to play with. But I wonder if Zone's going to change up his playstyle this time around and just do things that prevent ganks from going onto the Lina, whether it just be constantly shove out lanes so that they can't make plays unless they're super obvious, or only make some like counter initiation plays so that when Lina does inevitably get dived, you TP in, you get the Dream Coil, and maybe you get a turnaround.
Hey, this isn't gonna look too good for NJ. I don't know if I like this. NJ, not like this. Oh no! All of a sudden, out of the shadows, 4 people just rock up. Unfortunately, the Fate Bolt mitigation ain't gonna do enough. Echoes finds first blood on the Bat Rider, so I mean that's pretty much bottle already picked up to start the game.
And did they get 3 bounty runes as well? Oof, that's not good. When you're committing 4 people to 1 power rune and the one other hero is just able to walk over on Ava and pick it up. So, yeah, not looking too great to be able to start things. I was also considering, like, could this Dawn have been in a position 3 role? I forget who was on the panel that called out the Jakiro, but I would have really liked it, both for the Bat Rider. A lot of his movements are very obvious. The Tusk as well. You can oftentimes really easily set up for that snowball, and well, you can already see the amount of pressure that a Doom is able to do on his own up against this TA on the top side. Taken down to about a quarter HP just for a single Scorched Earth.
Honestly, I can't remember now if the meld was needed for the kill prior, but it's another lane. It's another lane now that we see XM go for the meld level 1.
Mm. I mean, it's interesting, right? We've seen him set up in the lane as well, and I mean, just have a look at the sentry ward placed by DQQ on that top side, wanting to make sure that the same sort of thing doesn't happen to him again.
What do you feel like is the reasoning with them putting the Lich in the top lane and then the toss down bottom? So the double melee and then the double range?
I guess they're just more concerned about kill threat coming from this top side, and that's just going to be off the back of Doom running at this TA, especially since she's gone the meld level 1. So slows end up helping out a fair amount. I mean, TA in the early game is effectively like a melee hero, let's be honest. The range is tiny on that right click.
And there's also a hero that very much thrives on having a lot of stacks inside the jungle. So too with the Bat Rider as well, so going to be keeping close attention to how they look to try and prioritize them. XM's in some trouble. Telekinesis back, but the early level up in the Frost Shield will actually help XM to be able to step back to the safety of the tower, but doesn't have a whole lot of region, and they might dive him. Unfortunately, the Scorched Earth has, of course, already been used, so maybe they're going to be lacking the damage for that attempt.
I mean, that's the only reason that they went for that kill, is that the Frost Blast had already been used, right? So they knew that there wasn't that slow potential up until he had to wait for a creep to die to get the Frost Shield and then use it to be able to stop the aggression coming through onto XM's TA. So both teams recognizing what they need to do in this lane fairly well so far.
And as we take a look at how the other lanes are shaping up at the moment, Zone still off to a pretty good start, even though Echoes was able to find that first blood and, 3 bounties as well to his name. So I think we're not really going to have a whole lot of action here. Probably the action we'll get is maybe supports rotating to get the power runes, and then the mid lane is looking to do their own thing on the side lanes.
Yeah, I wonder if, Zone actually hasn't made the choice to go for a bottle at all. So won't be making as big use of those power runes, just wanting to stick in the lane for as much as possible with that magic wand and keep shoving it out. I don't hate it. Again, I don't think he needs to be the one making those power rune rotations. He needs to be the counter initiator coming through. They're very happy for this game to go super late on Mystique. You don't need
why do you feel like that?
I mean, Doom late game is very scary. We know that the TA is very scary. And what's going to stop the Lina from dying? It's Puck, right? Dream Coil until you've got BKBs is a very effective tool, so why not utilize it?
Could there ever be a concern that pretty much anyone who gets lassoed is a free kill at the later stages? Or does Rubik Telekinesis with Ag Shard kind of disjoint the lasso? I'm not sure.
It makes it a little harder, and then you also have to consider that you've got a Dawnbreaker with the Solar Guardian, who, again, at late game is probably going to have the Aghanim Scepter, so you're going to have even more of that.
Top lane, XM in some trouble once again. However, with the slows coming out from outside, they won't be able to continue to chase XM down.
We have to consider as well, like, this was a Dawnbreaker picked up pretty early on into the draft, and wasn't really addressed all that strongly, right? It's still a very good hero to put in front of the Lina in lane. They banned out the Silencer. Nyx wasn't picked up, so there's nothing really that's going to stop Dawn from doing what she does best in this pos 5 role. And again, it's another one of these heroes that thrives off of just being able to sit in a lane and farm it off the side of the map. You're effectively like a Spectre from the position 5 role. So... Yeah. It even lends more credence to them wanting to play a lot more defensive, slow-paced game. You don't need to go and get kills on Team Mystique in the early game. Like, you don't have the heroes for it. You don't have the damage early on, but it's very important that you keep your towers so that you can play that greedier playstyle.
Top lane again, XM. Outside's finally going to be able to connect. They're actually even going to look to TP the Tuscan. XM's still going to be pretty cautious of his positioning. Once the Scorch Earth is able to expire, maybe they have an avenue now to re-enter the fight. The bonus ice armor is making it really difficult for them to bring down the members of Team Mystique. So NJ, with one more swipe of the sword, is able to secure their first kill of the game. Yeah, Racy too. He's got the Celestial Hammer ready to go. Just needs to close the distance for the Starbreaker. XM, oh, he doubled back. They're able to find the telekinesis, hides under the cover of the meld, but it's not enough as they can chase him down under the tier 1 tower. There's a great rotation out of Ray, finally helping them secure this kill into XM that has been kind of avoiding them so far through the first 6 minutes.
Again, it's a counter initiation coming through, right? And just really good choice of neutral creep to pick up by NJ as well. That ice armor saving both his life as well as the Rubik's in the lane. Of course, the lane was in such a spot that was able to farm right underneath his tower as well. Exactly. Now you're getting it. See, it took you a while. It took you a few weeks, but you're starting to feel it. NJ is very far forward, though.
Uh-oh. We'll be able to somehow get through, but the shards holds him into place. Even with all that armor that NJ has, unfortunately, it will not be enough. It was up to plus 14. One stage, but not going to keep himself alive. Meanwhile, across the map, though, Zone, level 6 DD to work with as well. So what would we like out of this DD in first coil? Do you want the supports to go to mid, or is he going to rotate?
I don't want him to rotate at all. Push the lane. Play passive. It means that Batrider is going to be picking up a lot of this farm, and it might be an earlier BKB than you might like, but I still think that you're in a position to counter-initiate and just to
They're going to go as soon as Echo shows. There we go. Coiled laid down straight away as they see the Batrider as Team Mystique bring both supports to enable zone, and they've still got this catapult wave, and the next wave is going to connect shortly as well, so they won't need to tank the tower. Outsiders for China, forced to rotate to defender. With 2 points in the Frost Shield, that should do the job.
Okay, don't hate that either. You know, obviously it's not making that rotation, it's supports making the rotation towards you, and
oh, even
that,
Mars is coming.
Yeah, but this is a little too late. DQQ should be able to get away, and they already expend that first arena off onto a support, so Lena's going to be loving life. She's like, what, Mars is just already given up the tower and I get a free lane to farm with no threat of arena? Thank you very much. Although Bat,
oh, maybe not so free.
Any TPs?
Echoes. It's praying for them. Echo's able to sidestep the LSA. That was really the only thing holding back the Batrider for the moment. She'll look to TP up, but the damage will be too fast before she's able to escape. A great movement from Echoes down to bottom.
It was, but probably just kept in the lane for a little too long as well on the Lina. You had the TP available on the Dawn as well, so I was wondering if you might have made that move with the Celestial Hammer for a bit of a slow, try and get the stun off to disjoint a little bit of the damage, but, well, clearly not doing so. Still though, 7.5, 8 minutes, mid-tier 1 tower as a puck. You're incredibly happy with that outcome. They might even be looking to make a bit of pressure happen on the top side against XM. I mean, they've got a Doom that's farming effectively pretty well. He's gone a Vanguard, so again, another hero that's pretty hard to kill. Looking to go into the Midas. And of course, that's very important for a Doom scaling. You just can't catch
Look
him.
at the slows. They'll finally lay down the Doom. Jama's going to try and step in to provide the assistance, so XM will actually not escape. Zone over the top, drops the coil. So XM unable to retreat. And now Jama's going to be chased down as well. NJ rewarded with the double kill. Beautifully done from the side of Mystique, getting great usage out of that first Doom of the game.
And you know what I like to see? Oh, actually, hold that for a thought. There's Bat Rider coming up towards the top side. He's got the Firefly back up, but no boots of travel just yet.
They want more. They're hoping for another target inside the arena, but it's only going to be NJ that they'll close the walls on. So with the Doom going to go down, but still Team Mystique want to try and turn towards Echoes with the Bat Rider in some trouble. Even the Lina wants to shop. So the Laguna Blade cuts away the life of the Tusk. They're hoping they can catch up to more, but unfortunately Team Mystique will just have to sacrifice two of their members for the kill onto Xiaoma's Tusk.
Okay, it's not the greatest, but again, you get away with most of the cores living, and you push out this tower, and, well, Lich is going to try his best to apply that Frost Shield to the tower, but he realizes he can't step far enough forward to even just get that singular spell off. He would just be feeding his life away, so... NJ, with that, TP's down towards the bottom side. He wants to get into his Midas. I've really been impressed by Mystique's gameplay so far, even just with Lina's positioning while they made that previous play up towards the top side. He wasn't farming deep forward in the lane. He was farming probably as passively as you could, right next to the tier 2 tower, because Bat Rider hadn't shown at that time. So he wanted to make sure that he was as possible to kill.
Oh, NJ.
He needs boys.
They're starting to TP down. Well, you asked for the boys, and the boys are coming. Zone's got that coil back up, but you'd love to combine it with the Doom. Unfortunately, that's still on cooldown for another 30 seconds, but 3 heroes on Team Mystique will be required to defend this tower.
But they do defend it though, right? Lina keeps farming.
Yep.
You don't lose areas of your map to play around. I think they probably would have made an aggressive move if they had a little bit more duration left on that Scorched Earth. But NJ just wanted it to be back up online. He gets another Devour off. This time he gets the War Stomp. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger to be able to play around with, though, and nice positioning coming through from outside to be able to dodge out that gank attempt just with his presence.
Yeah. Even the scan, I think, just after. So there were multiple people on the boys on Outsiders for China were kind of on the same page that maybe they were looking to make that attempt to invade into the jungle. Because something we spoke about earlier was the fact that Outsiders, they're going to put a lot of importance on the Ancients, in particular for XM and for Echoes as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly important for them to be picking that one up as much as you want on your position ones on both sides. And, well, for XM, he's had a few stacks built up for him. He's had to do it all for himself up until this stage as he misses the Dragon Slave there onto the Ancient's Cap. But I still think you're generally okay with the current state of affairs. Like, Doom's got his Midas, he's got a Vanguard, he's got 3 levels in the Devour, he's spamming it out, top of the net worth. Like, this is what you want. You want late game Dota.
It does seem like, though, we're going to kind of hit a pretty difficult timing here shortly for Radiant to deal with. Like, once you get these BKBs out on the, honestly, triple core, like, XM's going to go Deso before him, but there is not a lot of physical damage before the Lina comes online as bottom lane. They might be looking at NJ. I think they'll require the Chain Frost to get the kill, and NJ's not an easy one at that, so XM's just going to look to clear the wave and go back to the Ancients.
Yeah, DQQ stepped on the trap as well, so he had vision that there was some level of backup there. They wanted to continue to commit forward here, realizing that we do need to kind of address these heroes that are just sitting back and farming for quite some time. They might need to just give up this tower for now. For it to have lasted until 13 minutes is a pretty big win for Mystique.
Well, they're looking for the Blink reveal, though, on Ava. Lina's the perfect target. The spear's going to be off the mark, though. Now with the Solar Guardian coming into play as well.
Great
They're going to be
Chain
pushed, but
Frost.
the Chain Frost outside, bouncing back and forth. A gigantic kill onto the carrier Team Mystique. And now Echoes is already looking for more. But a coil will buy Zone enough time to be able to step on away. But you see outside kind of cleaning up the mess there with that incredible Chain Frost.
Yeah, that's well worth the tip coming through from Echoes. Just realizing that, you know, the big counter that I think of, you know, shock, surprise, is the Wyvern into the Dawnbreaker. You bring him in, you top the Winter's Curse onto whoever the main target was, and they're immediately hitting him. Chain Frost, just as good. You know exactly when that landing is going to come. So, NJ.
Top lane as well.
You okay?
I don't think he's going to be too okay at all. Lasso even committed as well for the kill. He'll lay down the Doom. He'll still be burnt to a crisp. Zone will get a rebuttal, but that is your Doom expended and the Batrider can just fly on away.
Yeah, maybe thinking that Puck would have been able to catch up, but didn't quite have the Witchblade available yet or the Blink Dagger. He's got Witchblade finished as a result of that Tusk kill, so Zones are going to be a little bit more effective at dealing with this TA in a lot of these fights, obviously needing to get rid of the Refraction before the Illusory Orb and the Waning Rift is able to do all that much. Is Ava going to look to make a play, though, around this mid lane? He's got the Blink Dagger available, Arena up in 5, but no boys left to be able to make plays with.
That's such a gigantic kill into the Lina, though.
Yep.
We see just how the net worth kind of takes a hit after that death, where XM now second in net worth, about 600 gold advantage. Meanwhile, his support is going to be in a little bit of trouble here as outside. Silver once again try and turn it around with the Chain Frost. This time it's a bit of an ambitious one.
Yeah, it was. And I mean,
again,
DQQ was in a good spot, though, to be able to try and stop that. It was very, very slightly off. He used the Tumbler's Toy as well to get forward on the Mars in combination together with the Blink Dagger. And again, they're realizing that the Doom is the issue. A lot of this sustain coming through is the result of him. And well, he's got a mech picked up. He's got that Devour maxed out, Scorched Earth. Doom at the ready. Very, very hard to take down, so they're going to need to commit multiple heroes onto it. And I wonder if they make the decision of just sitting back a little bit and finishing up those BKBs before they make any serious attempt at going for kills. I mean, XM, he's nearly got the Desolator as well, so maybe it's going to be going for a play around that top side with the BKBs and then hoping to try and convert that into Roshan. Jalmar's got 3 points in the tag team, so it should be pretty quick.
We might have a fight break out by the Power Rune. Multiple team fights kind of breaking out at the once, and meanwhile Puck's just going to be dragged back, and Solar Guardian will do nothing. Maybe it'll just get Ray killed off as well, as Ava finds the one spear inside the river to pin Ray up against, and Outsiders find a couple freebies.
Yeah, Puck was just a little slow on a lot of the movements there. I know it was the night time, but he gradually stepped on forward towards that illusion rune, and they're going to go for another pick off here.
Oh, they glyphed.
DQQ goes down. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to hurt your tier 2 towers, I don't think. Outsiders don't have the strongest tower pushing lineup. Yeah, they got the Deso now on the TA, but I really don't think that's going to be all that effective at the actual tower sieging business. It really just, to me, seems like they want to set up camp on the Radiant side of the map. They've got nice deep observer wards throughout the jungle in the ancient camp area. That's where TA is going to be farming to try and take that away from Lina's typical farming patterns. And then again, if they do find this key pick-off, they can just straight up go into Roche.
Oh, he's in trouble here. Can Ava get the spear? Quick use of the phase shift to dodge him out.
Already has a shard on outside. Nicely done.
Meanwhile,
XM actually gets a free kill.
Yeah, and Jalma in combination together are able to chase down Ray, and they're still even considering about moving over to zone. They will not run into the Puck though, but we see how Outsiders are starting to play the map after that tier 1 tower got claimed mid. They are well aware that if they get one pick-off or even a second pick-off, then Roche is easily up for grabs with this Deso and maxed out meld.
It is. The thing is, I like how Mystique have responded to it, though, right? They realize that, okay, we see the Desolator, let's move away from this top side. That's what their objective is going to be. And what that's resulted in is that has finished up his BKB for himself. So maybe they're going to feel confident in actually taking a fight. You're going to need to commit that lasso if you want to kill the Lina. Gonna go for a smoke here, outside of the range of the high ground. Looks like they will look to commit to be able to get rid of it there. Of course, Lina was the one that ended up doing a lot of the right clicks, so they're even going to be able to catch out this other observer one. I'm not sure if it's right on the edge of the sentry. Yeah, there we go. So they've completely cleared out all of this vision. This is nicely done by Mystique. NJ, though, I'm not sure if you can just walk in first.
Oh, I don't think you can, as Ava finds a target for the spear, but look at the coil off to the outskirts, holding them all into place. Echo's going to look to fly into the middle, targeting down the Lina at the moment, but there was no damage follow-up with the ultimate, so Lina's going to be able to reposition, but Zone won't have the same fate, and now Ava finds an opportunity for the spear back, holding Lina into place, but she's going to stand strong. Under the cover of the Doom, the TA's in trouble. tries to do as much damage as he can before she goes down, and that'll enable the boys on Dire to get the cleanup. One more spear for good measure means that all 5 members of Team Mystique will go down.
There was just no Delta split that happened there. That was a full value Chain Frost coming through from outside without the arena even being part of the equation. All 5 heroes were getting hit, and you have to remember that the damage starts to ramp up with every single bounce coming through. So have a look at outside. He's got the second highest damage, 3,000 off the back of basically just that Chain Frost being dropped down. I don't think it even jumped to his Ice Spire either.
What do you make of this Ice Spire as well?
It allows you to go for, let's have a look here. So it's a nice Dream Coil. It hits in onto 4. Good use of the Solar Guardian as well. But just look at that Chain Frost constantly bouncing around. And once again, it's Puck, unfortunately, just a little bit too far forward. There's not that follow-up. And, well, for whatever reason, they're just all at sea. You know, some people are hitting the Ice Spire. Some people are trying to run. Some people want to commit. They're just not all on the same page. Eventually, when they're forced to fight together, you can see that they've got the potential to take out this TA. But it's just a little bit too late. You've already lost so many members. Well, it meant as well that they weren't able to instantly take Roshan, but they're still going to be able to go back and just pick it up. For the Ice Fire, it just lets you go for these solo pickoffs, right? Like, you plus Bat or you plus Mars are able to make kills happen on your own. You probably don't even need to drop the arena for it, right? It's just like Blink Dagger, Spear, into Chain Frost with the Ice Spire, and then afterwards you Sinister Gaze, and they're dead. Almost anyone's going to die from that.
Sure. And we see the Sinister's Gaze, it's starting to be maxed out next as well. And you got to keep in mind, this is a instant cast spell, so one of the best ways to be able to address the Puck. So honestly, I'm intrigued if you can just solo kill the Puck. Only 1,100 health on this hero. Bottom lane, they're scanning out Lina. Echo's able to find the opening. A BKB was activated, but the TP is actually still on cooldown, so Lina, she needs some reinforcements. Zone's going to start to TP in. Coil will hold back the boys on Dire. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it comes outside with a Chain Frost. Is going to bounce back onto the Siege Creep, but unfortunately, it'll go to the wave as well. So NJ will be okay for the moment. Still the traps really being an issue here. The incessant slows, meaning NJ won't be able to escape it. Maybe they actually want to go back in, because Ava, he'll find the arena. They're holding 2 down into the middle. But where's XM? Where's your main damage source? Finally, the Templar Assassin's going to look to show up to the fight, as they don't have the control for Zone at the moment, but they might turn to the Lina instead. Blink up in a couple of seconds if Ava can find the angle. It looks like they're happy with what they've gotten so far out of that engagement.
Yeah, and, well, that was, again, unfortunately for Mystique, really sloppy by them. You know, they dropped the Dream Coil onto those heroes when Lina could potentially turn around and start to right-click. You'd already used the lasso. That was really the only thing that you were majorly concerned about. They also tried to chase up into that mid lane. Doom dies off, isn't able to get good use out of the Guardian Greaves, and, well, now you're going to have to deal with a TA who, want to commend XM's itemization, going up into that Aghanim Shard against the Puck. It's going to be really useful at just finding those quick pickoffs if he's able to jump in onto the backlines with that Blink Dagger now.
And it's another game now where we've seen XM go for this very, very early Aghanim Shard.
It's good value. Lots of vision. And, you've also got an Aether Lens as well on outside to now have to contend with. So that's going to be a 2.5 second instant cast lockdown for the Puck if Puck isn't perfect with that jump in. I'm assuming that outside might decide to be just sitting a little bit further back than the rest of his teammates, just in case, you know, Puck decides to jump in with that waning rift.
Like, how do you even take fights if you don't have your ultimates? And how do you even go through the Aegis once? Like, it feels like you have to commit Coil and Doom to bring him down, but then all of a sudden, off the back of the respawn, you'll have nothing left.
I think they could still do it, but I'm probably getting a sense...
Oh, Echoes and Jalma. They're just going to jump the Rubik, no hesitation, because Echoes has even found another member as well. Still Mystique considering about taking the fight, because NJ's going to lead into the middle, but the Doom's on cooldown, so the fourth's going to be off the back of Zone's Coil, enabling the Lina to stand strong, but she doesn't have the stacks to be able to get the right-click damage out. Relying on the Laguna Blade to cut away the life of one. Now they'll turn to XM off the respawn as well. Refraction's expired. XM's in a whole world of pain. Frost Shield to hell with the mitigation, but it's not going to be enough as finally Team Mystique will catch them off guard here. That was a breath of fresh air considering we were starting to see a lot of momentum appear for Dire.
Man, DQQ has to take a bow there. He was by far the best player in that team fight. He gets the snowball steal off the tusk, lets himself survive just long enough for the Doom to get in, pop the Guardian Greaves for his HP. Then at the very end, after the TA respawns, has Sinister Gaze stolen, locks her in place so that she's not able to get away with the refraction charges to stop the blink. And wow, it was just a really, really good performance from him. So what can they do off the back of this? NJ, he's not going to go too far forward into this lane. I say that as he starts to path back towards the top side. Should just look to give his life up for free here, unfortunately. He got a little minus screen.
They're coming, actually. Doom out, but no one's there to hold the Batrider into place. And oh, what a disengage. Beautifully
1 second
done.
off the coil.
And we just, even though they won that last fight, and we really did see what can happen, we're well aware of what this Lina hero can do, but when she's able to stand strong, get the right clicks going, then you are going to have some issues. But it's going to be another fight where they don't have Doom and Coil in combination together, which could be a concern, because Outsiders for China, they're looking to try and take a fight off the back of the smoke, and to the Mystique jungle they go. Ward dropped a little bit too late though, so NJ is able to disengage. They might run into zone. He's going to be the first one to start. Xiaoma,
quick fingers.
unable to get the Walrus Punch. Great fingers to allow Zone to retreat, but NJ actually jumped into the middle.
There's that
the Ice Fire Chain Frost combination. NJ down to half health. They're going to lay both ultimates to try and take away the Doom's life. And well, they'll be rewarded in the end for that. Simultaneously, XM getting a lot of damage into the tier 2 tower as well. So in the end, not the worst here for Dial.
Not the worst, but not the worst for Radiant either, right? He didn't have the Doom available. They had to commit a lot to be able to take him out, both the arena plus the lasso. Echo, as they will have seen, has TP'd back towards the top side because mid and top were both pushed in. I'd be a little surprised, to be honest, if they don't look to make any kind of defensive attempt on this bottom tower, but it just seems like they're giving it up for free. And they don't have cooldowns to play with. They don't have Aegis. They don't have a hero. Like, this should have been a 4v3 underneath your own tower, and instead, they've just given up some map.
They're trying to smoke and catch the Batrider on the retreat, but Echoes is already back behind the T2 tower. We even see that this Batrider is looking to try and scale with some form of kind of Witchblade and Agshard build. This is going to be very interesting from Echoes. I mean, he's had a exceptional game so far. 9-1-9 on the bat, third in net worth.
Nicely done by him. I mean, it doesn't even seem like a lot of the Outsiders' movements have been off the back of, like, obvious vision, you know? Poor Ray might end up giving up his life here as he tries to get one of those D wards off, and, well, with TA, it's just about a 3-hit. Has he finished up the Vlads? I think he has. So he's actually enabling his team to stand and just man-fight a little bit more, which is obviously going to be incredibly strong, just letting Lina stand, pop the BKB, and hope for the best.
Speaking of the Lina, they see her with this really interesting Observer Ward on the high ground. They might get a glimpse shortly. We'll see if Ava actually wants to jump with that.
She's got Lincolns now, though. So
it's a big item.
It's going to need to be the Mars.
Oh, there we go. Ava's in for the spear. It's off the mark. They weren't able to steal the arena. Quick fingers from Ava. Toggles the bulwark. Towards the backline, though, Doom's going to try and find an opening as well, but Sinister's Gaze means that NJ will get a delayed ultimate out, so XM protected with the BKB, and Outsiders, they can look to play this one a little bit more safe here. Just, they could chill pill, wait for the Doom to expire, heal up, and then they can look to go back in now with the abilities on cooldown.
Not sure if it was an intentional thing or not, but just a clever use of being able to drop the arena right there, right? Because you saw that the vision that weird little observer ward showed before, but if you, like, get rid of too many trees around the area, it becomes kind of obvious. But if you just drop the arena, all the trees die, and now it's giving you really good vision. They just get rid of it anyway.
Unfortunately, it's gone now, so I like where you're going with that.
Were they next level thinking, you reckon?
No, I don't think so.
Wow. So you're saying they're dumb. That's ridiculous, Aries.
No, I think maybe I'm calling you dumb for your thought. I don't know if I'm calling them dumb. I think it's just a benefit that comes out of taking a fight there where you can destroy some trees as well.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe they go back, de-ward that sentry, pop a ward down, and maybe Mystique won't expect there to be another ward.
Clever.
Ah, so I'm clever. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm always complimentary. Are they going to go for this kill? I mean, if they're going to do it, it's going to need to be really quick because you've got a smoke coming up behind you, and, well, it doesn't look like they'll be able to get there quickly enough. Ooh, less!
Echoes, oh, he went down. A big kill, but look at the turnaround, the damage from XM. 2 hits, and Zone's just gone, and now NJ actually not gonna get clipped to the shards, but they should still be able to catch up to him. Traps to slow him down. Gay's gonna drag him back in, while the rest of the outsiders will easily be able to pursue on to get that damage to bring down NJ's Doom. So in the end, yes, Echoes will pay the price, but I'd say he's pretty happy with that exchange.
Yeah, again, it just shows the importance of being able to make those snap decisions. I think the panels talked about it time and time again. The difference between some of these tier 1 teams and the level below is just the speed that they make a lot of these stuff happen. They were sitting up there waiting on the top side for what felt like a good 5-10 seconds, and in the meantime, that allowed the rest of outsiders to be able to close in onto the back end, be able to find those pickoffs and make it a 3-for-1 trade. Actually, 4-for-1 if you consider the second life that XM now has to play with that Roshan.
Do we know where the shard went? I'm not sure.
Probably Mars.
He had that before, I believe.
Probably Tusk then, Long Boy.
Oh, the Long
they've all got it.
Boy. Oh, they've all got it? Okay. Wow.
Look at everyone's itemization. Everyone's going for a Lincoln Sphere right now on Mystique outside of the Doom, who feels like it's important just to get that BKB to be able to not be completely controlled by that arena. Kind of feels like he's been hindered a little bit, doesn't he? You know, moving very fast, of course, as all Dooms do, but if you're not able to catch up onto that TA with the Scorched Earth, whack with the Infernal Blade, it really feels like your effectiveness isn't that great.
Again, another big issue is like Puck and Doom are an incredible combo when you use your ultimates together. One of the big weaknesses with Doom is when you use your ulti, you kind of struggle to stay on top of them to get that full usage out of pretty much taking one person out of the fight. If they just retreat away, then what's that, 140-second cooldown just wasted. So like we need to see these abilities in conjunction together.
We do indeed. And, well, the thing is, I'm not sure how effective it is going to be taking a team fight now that you've got this fresh Aegis to be able to play around with. Still got 3.5 minutes left of it for the TA. You've got no tier 2 towers, so outside could probably just look to strangle the map out for a good 2, maybe 2.5 minutes, and then look to make a play as Aegis is setting to tick out. Just look at all the lanes. They're so deeply shoved in towards Mystique's side of the map.
Zone might tick out to the spear. Looks like he's going to be okay, just able to survive. Was quite surprised at how much damage they were able to do at such a quick succession, but...
Okay, they're going to use the Doom for a Tusk. I'm not sure if that's the best usage out of it, because now they're going to feel confident enough just to go in onto the puck.
Yep, Solar Guardian also used as well. Raid will not be able to keep him alive, it looks like. So they're going to be able to secure the kill. Now Ava finds an opening and a jumper in the middle as well as Arena. Lay it down to bring down a support. They're going to look to try and reset off the back of Zone's buyback.
But again, this is a Doom that's been used. This is a Solar Guardian that's been used. You've still got this 5v4 when you consider the Aegis, and you haven't had to use the BKB yourself on XM. So I know they can continue to strangle out the map a little bit. Maybe they're just waiting that little bit for Tusk to be there as their safety net. But I think now is the time to go for outsiders. Nothing really else for them to be able to wait for. Of course, back can join at any time. With that Boots of Travel, looks like they might just be waiting for Mars perhaps to get another 550 gold. Be able to get into that Scythe of Vice for himself, and he's got a juicy creep wave on the bottom side to be able to play with.
That's a big item. Really helps out the Mars with finding this puck. Even just makes kind of the...
back.
Yeah, exactly. So if you get that kill into the puck, then all of a sudden now you're going to be playing 4v5 for quite a long time. XM, nice reactions with the blink.
He's got it. He'll have an extra little bit of duration on the stun as well, which he's got the shard for. You know, Ava's been really on point with most of his arenas so far, so he's still holding on to the doublers toy, realizing how important it is just to be able to get that surprise factor against the likes of a Puck, as well as these other heroes with their Blink Dagger.
This net worth lead, though, continuing to grow at a pretty rapid rate now for outsiders. 15,000 net worth lead. Ages for another minute for them to work with as well. This high ground siege is still not the easiest. Seeing how they're able to kind of just stand behind Lena, let her go to work, who is level 19 and was going to be working on the Shadow Blade as her next item, but feels like she just needs so much more to be able to combat outsiders at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the dream, of course, would be don't have to fight into Aegis, have level 20, have that Shadow Blade for yourself, just to maximize your damage output, but well, maybe they'll be lucky enough to do it. You've got Batrider, who's shown TP'd up to the top side. Maybe now you feel confident enough on the Lena to be able to come down into the lane, but this cheeky micro there from the illusion might be giving a few things away. Ah, never mind, they see the Firefly top. You just see how scared they are to even leave their base on Mystique. This is what happens when you give up those towers so easily.
And what happens when you pick up a gem as well, which Echoes has, so there's just all they got is this one ward in the top lane that is not really providing them a whole lot. So.
Alright, so Aegis is expired. I think you could sell the Raindrops and the Iron Branch just so that you could finish up this this Shadow Blade for yourself. But, well, is at least going to be able to push out that bottom lane one more time. Has to be very careful with his positioning, though. Look at them lying in wait on outside. He's just waiting for a single person to step out.
Smoke's gonna pop. Ward drop down. Echoes finds the instant jump onto the high value target in the Doomers. Once again, the Solar Guardian's just gonna be a little bit too late, as Ray will now feed his life over as well, giving another kill the boys on Dire. And now with this 3v5 advantage, we might see them try and walk it up.
Seems like it's going to be the case. I mean, he's got the Wraith Pact finished up on this this Dawnbreaker, but I'm not sure how effective that's going to be. I mean, you're going up against a TA. Yes, that's going to be very nice.
Aggressive jump in, but reactions out of the Lena as well, protected with the BKB, so Ava wasn't able to find that kind of drag back. We went Hurricane Pike instead, okay.
Okay. Just wanting some more range.
Ava again, they know the BKB's on cooldown, so they'll be able to find the opening, but the coil's there, but it doesn't hold that value member of XM into play, so the TA damage just obliterates Lena. It was a nice attempt to stop XM before he was able to enter the high ground, but just a little bit too late there, and well, XM will punish them, and now they'll get the full set of barracks mid. There's no tier 2 tower to stand in their way as well, so I mean, at least 2 full sets, potentially megas.
Radiant's middle barracks are under.
Seems like megas to me. Of course, Mystique, they're going to play it out. They want any opportunity. If they lose this one, I'm pretty sure they're guaranteed to be relegated out of the division, so you got to play every game on its merits. We never know what could happen.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Jay's at the ready with the Doom. Oh, shit. Ooh, wait, did they see him? What? No, hang on.
Tower is under attack.
NJ and Jam, look how close they are together. They're sniffing each other, but
I'm not even sure the point of being here, you know? Like, there's no Park, there's no Lena. What are you going to do sitting down there, other than maybe getting caught out, you know?
They didn't run into each other. Bro, someone's had some nice showers today. Put on some nice deodorant. Good mask deodorant. No one was able to sniff him out in the tree line. And Jay's like, no one's there. Maybe a man in the world of the Doom doesn't smell. I don't know. This is a scary creature.
What do you think Doom smells like?
Honestly, probably death. What's death smell like? I don't know.
Hellfire and brimstone probably is what he smells like. The more I think about it, the more I really don't like this Wraith Pact on Ray. I think an Ags would have just been perfect for him. Just even...
Radiant are scanning.
They're going for a smoke here. Might feel like a bit of a last-ditch attempt. Still wanting to reveal himself, but maybe they saw...
A core's going to be laid down, but they doom up the toss to XM. He's got a free fight now. He's going to look to try and turn it. Arena will hold Ray into place, and off to the left side, he's unable to find an avenue to enter the team fight. LSA's out. A decent amount of damage, in fact, and okay. All of a sudden, just like that, the fight kind of turns abruptly on its head.
I mean, that's what you got to do, right? You got to just make a snap decision. If it doesn't work, you were 2 lanes of racks down, 25k net worth, but you bring it back. You know, it costs a buyback out of your POS 5, but do you really care? Although mid lane...
Oh, nice Force Staff. Refresher was used as well for Echoes, so puts that on cooldown. You're not going to have this double lasso potential of a previous fight. Let's look at that one back, because That looked fine for Dire. Like, you doom the Tusk. Great fight for them to start. 4 stuff gets zone out. Arena means that Lina can't do anything. And what went wrong now?
I think Doom's just too tanky, right? Like, he's gone this very, very beefy build. He eventually does die, but you're going to have to get through a Titan Sliver, a Vanguard, a Greaves, BKB. So it's not super easy to be able to take him out, and he's just going to look to go even further down that route. He's going into a Shiva's next. He's just picked up the Blast Rig for himself instead of the Titan Sliver, so really just wanting to make sure that he could deal with that that TA. Honestly, even the Batrider, right, with the Blast Rig, means that you're going to need to commit with the BKB every time you go for that lasso attempt.
Overall, though, I loved how Team Mystique tried to start that fight with smoke up, drop the Observer on the high ground as soon as the smoke pops, just so they can get...
And then immediately they went, right?
Yeah. And now look at them. They've got so much vision around this Roche. Like, if you are somehow able to win another fight in a row, then all of a sudden that's Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shard for the boys as well. So, Scan will be on the mark. Dire are well aware that they're attempting this, but NJ's going to look to jump before they get the formation set up. Ava, a solo Arena just onto the Doom. He's got a second round of the ultimate to work with. Ava going to put another one onto Doom, but they're only tickling for the moment. NJ activates the BKB, tries to run away, but Jama, an uppercut to the sky means that XM can close the distance. NJ,
he's alive!
The man's alive!
He's got Doom back up!
And now they're going to turn to the Templar Assassin. Telekinesis chuck down XM. Is he in some trouble, or is the Lina in trouble? They'll burn her out. And now the buybacks are coming into play, but they'll be a little bit too late to join the team fight zone. Stuck on the high ground, trying to get the finishing blow, but the Sinister's Gaze is there. The follow-up from Ava as well. And the Chain Frost to slam home the door as XM rewarded with the triple kill. And there was a hope for Team Mystique back into this one. And after that fight, it's looking grim.
Lina's got to be careful as well. She's gone very far forward next to these traps, and she bought back for that one and wasn't able to contribute to that team fight. I was really thinking that Zone was going to use that illusory orb as a bit of a bait and then continue to commit back onto the TA, because Doom was still running for a good 4 or 5 seconds. He could have easily got that pick off at the end there, but well, he chose a bit more of the conservative route and ended up dying for it without TA going down. They still don't take Roche though.
That placement of the fight with the arenas was so difficult for Lina to be able to manage. We saw she couldn't like run all the way around the pit. That's 4 or 5 seconds. You don't want a Hurricane Pike through the pit as well, other than now your defensive items on cooldown. So even though like Ava didn't get a lot out of the arena, we saw they weren't able to capitalize with not being on the Lina because of the walls.
Never feels good, does it? Having a ranged hero into this this Mars arena. Basically the only one that can like somewhat address it is the Drow, is actually just going to pop his BKB even to get out of there. Realizing that you would have needed to commit the Refresher Orb and get the lasso off if you found him out, but, well, don't know if they even saw that one there, so he is going to be a lot weaker for this impending fight, and, well, it's just going to be on the back of Outsiders. How quickly do they look to make an attempt? And it seems like they're keen to. They've got everything up on bat. They'll take any kind of pick off, especially someone without buyback.
Smoke off from Dire. There's the Warden. They're going to try and find an angle to jump. Once again, targeting the Doom. Maybe it's going to be different with a double damage rune on XM, and they just obliterate the offlane. And now Ava finds a perfect opening to lay the ultimate into place so the Chain Frost can just go to work. And Echoes will drag Lina into the grave as well. As the Outsiders for China, well, they'll be made to work for this game 1 victory, but in the end, they'll be able to take it in the end with a 14.